It may seem you have no hope after you checked your Jamb result and you have a low score. But believe me, if you have the right information, you can gain admission with whatever score you have with you. So in this video, I will discuss with you 6 tips to gain admission with your low Jamb score. Hi guys, if you are new here, I'm Kosim. Here I make video on education and career guide, so feel free to join the community by subscribing to this channel. Before talking about the tips, let me make something clear. If I am talking about low Jamb score, I'm not talking about the people that have below 200. You might have 200 and above and it's still low depending on the course you have chosen or probably this institution you have applied to. So without wasting much of your time, let's talk about the tips. The first tip is that do not rush in making decision. Most of the time when people have a low Jamb score, there will be a kind of panic and have a kind of fear like that, so they want to rush in making whatever decision they want to make. When you're making a rush decision, there is high tendency that you're making the wrong decision, so you have to make sure you do the necessary thing. After you've checked your Jamb result, you have a lot of time before the school will even be releasing their post ME form for you to obtain. So you have to calm down and make sure you're making the right decision for yourself. Now the second tip is that make inquiry about many schools, understand their admission requirements and process for previous years. Now what do I mean by this? Most of the time when you have a low Jamb score, now you don't want to be like I love one school, I love one this. No, you don't want to. Everybody wants to go to university, everybody wants to go to a certain university. Like I want to go to University of Ibadan, I want to go to Obafemi Awolowo University, I want to go to Unilag, I want to go to ABU, I want to go to whatever university you like, probably right from secondary school. Now this is not the time for that. You don't really need to attach your love to whatever school. Now you want to take decision, you want to make decision of whatever institution that will be suitable for the score you have right now. So with that, you have to make an inquiry about many schools. Make an inquiry because you want to know if you will stick to the school you have chosen and change course. Your score may not be low to the extent that the school you have chosen will not accept it at all. Your score may be like your school can still accept it, but you cannot use it for whatever course you have chosen earlier to study. Make your inquiry about schools will make you to understand this. And number 2 is that maybe you have to change completely from that institution to another institution. Now, if you make an inquiry about many schools, make sure you understand the admission requirement and process for previous years, because that may not be different at all. Even if that will be different, there may not be significant difference in the admission requirement for the previous year. That will give you the knowledge about the exact institution is suitable for your score you have with you. Now the third tip for you now is that make sure you are taking a calculative risk. Now most of the people, after making an inquiry about school, you want to make decision. At the end of the day, you go and make decision that is not calculative. It is generally accepted that every one of us are trying to seek admission into our institution of learning. You are taking a risk. Even if you have 300 and above, you are still taking a risk. Now that you have a low Jamb score, you have to make sure you are taking a calculative risk. For example, someone asks a question on a blog, on an article of which discussing something related to what I'm discussing in this video, and the person said, I have 203, I think, in Jamb. I choose Unilag, and can I proceed to process admission for nursing? So I was just like, now this question, if the answer has to be yes, now it is a risk, but the risk is not calculative. The University of Lagos, that you know that this Jamb is 50% of the admission requirement. So if you are going there with score like 203 for competitive courses like nursing, you know, that kind of decision or that kind of risk is not calculative. Make sure that whatever risk you want to take is calculative. That is, it is at least giving you 60 to 70% of assurance that you will gain admission. The fourth tip is change your course appropriately. Now, I've made mention of changing of course earlier when I'm talking about when you're making inquiry about schools, but there are situations whereby you are changing course and you are not changing it appropriately. You want to change from one course to another. The first thing you have to consider is your subject combination. Make sure that the subject combination you have is suitable for whatever course you want to change to. Let me give you, for instance, if you choose medicine and surgery, or probably any core medical course, and at the end of the day you think that you want to consider industrial chemistry as an example, you may want to think that your subject combination is okay for industrial chemistry. It is not that in most cases. It is always the same requirement with some engineering courses. So you have to make sure you know the combination, the subject combination of whatever course you want to change to. And the second thing you have to take note here is that some people, when they want to change their course, they want to change to a particular course because they have the exact minimum requirement for the course. So because a lot of people will change to the same course with higher score. So what I mean here is that you have to change to a course like your score will have an high chance. So you don't have one something and start going to be competing for courses that that people with high score will come and compete with you too. Because when a course is said to be less competitive, it doesn't mean that the course is not good and people are not wanting that particular course. It is just that the people applied for that course at that particular time is probably low. You have to make sure you are changing your course appropriately by considering all you need to consider before changing the course. Tip number 5: if you have a good O-level result, take chance of it. Now, what I mean by this is that there are some people that will have low Jamb score, but they will have high grades in O-level, like having A's, B's. Then you can take chance of that. If you have that good O-level result, you can take chance of that by applying to the schools that take high consideration of O-level results. There are some schools that give like 40% consideration to O-level. A good example of such schools is Federal University or Ekiti. They give 40% consideration to only O-level results, especially if you are using one sitting O-level result. And also Polytechnic like Federal Polytechnic at Ekiti, and some other schools too, which I may not be able to mention in this video. So if you are having a good O-level result and you have a low Jamb score, then take chance of your O-level result. The last but not the least tip: be selective with the advice you listen to. Like, now that you have low Jamb score, a lot of people want to give you advice. Your friends, your family, and also your co-applicants. So they want to give you advice. You have to make sure you are listening to official and professional advice. Those people that are giving you advice are most likely the people that just like or love you, but they may not have the right information. Someone loves or likes you doesn't mean he or she have the right information for you. Those things that I've mentioned in this video that you do, like you make inquiry on schools and the likes, you may want to go to people to make inquiry about that, but it is not everybody that have the right information. People can assume. Like, for instance, when you go to probably your secondary school teacher and your teacher may want to prove to you that he or she knows everything, though he may want to give you advice which may not be the right one, or information which may not be a genuine information. So you have to seek a professional advice. But there's a particular blog that I will recommend for you, which is it's where you get a professional and official advice on whatever school, institution, on anything about admission or post-UTME or anything requirements admission process in Nigeria, and I will link that in the description box below. There's something I want to say here which would be like a bonus, and that is, don't believe everything you read on Google. Google is a blessing to this generation, but the fact about Google information in Nigeria is that most people, Google don't have information. Like, they have to collect information from people that are bloggers in different parts of the country. Now you have to be very careful. For instance, there was a day I searched on Google that what is the cutoff mark for admission to University of Ibadan. The first blog or the first article that was ranked then was saying that the Jamb cutoff mark for University of Ibadan is 180. And I think for years now, University of Ibadan will not accept score like 180 in UTME. So you have to be very careful of where you seek advice and also what you read on Google. I think you have benefited something from this video. The first thing you do for me is like this very video. Also, do well to subscribe to this channel, because a lot of informations like this is going to come up on this channel. See you in another interesting video like this. Bye for now.